and smile, 'cause it's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I stopped so you could hold me. But this child awaits, strong in the faith. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to, 'cause I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by without thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life.
I'm so excited that you're joining us on today. This segment is going to be like none other. If you don't know this, God has gifted you to utilize your hands. He's gifted you with a sharp mind. And I want to encourage you to ask him, God, what can I build? What can I create? What can I design to give glory on today to you that people can learn from me? And my guest on today, Terrence Green Jr., I call him TJ. He's here with us to share about digital technology, the world that we're living in, and how we can use it in our businesses, our ministries, schools, and just overall in life to build for our kingdom assignment. Welcome, TJ.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of our show on today, because I think when I first saw your presentation, I was in awe. I was like, oh my God, that used to be me. You know, I was like, I'm afraid of it, don't want to talk about it, don't want to touch it. And my daughter's like, Mom, you got to level up, because we're not going back to the old days. Everything is digital now.
Right.
Even Bitcoin, you know, everything is digital. You can make money off of your phone. You got to be able to know what to do.
Yes.
So let's just kind of step out in faith, because this is no stranger for you. You started out when you were young. I know you're still young, but I mean, was it high school?
Oh, senior year in high school. And so how I started was when I was a senior, we had an English project.
Mm-hmm.
So we either could team up with a group and reenact a William Shakespeare play, or we can just team up with one other person and just act like we were interviewing William Shakespeare.
Yeah.
And so I'm an introvert, and so I didn't want to do either one of those options.
You want to just be by yourself.
Right. And so I actually Googled, for some reason, I was just one night curious, Googled animation softwares.
Yeah.
And so I found one that you can make an animated video like you make a PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked my teacher if I could do it. She said yes.
Because you wanted to work by yourself.
By myself, you know, like.
Oh my goodness.
And so I ended up making an animated video about me interviewing William Shakespeare. And I ended up getting like a 98 out of 100.
Wow.
The funny thing about that is, you know, the rubrics we used to have that your project must do this.
What was that 2 points?
Yeah. Oh, I actually didn't hit anything on the rubric. Like, that's why I didn't get 100. Like,
wow.
My video barely had anything to do with the actual project, but she loved it so much, it was so creative, that she gave me a 98 out of 100, and she showed it to every other class.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was like my first subconscious realization that people love animation.
Yes.
And that also I didn't realize at the time I had a gift for storytelling as well. And so I actually didn't use that skill immediately, though.
Wow.
I went to college. I was still trying to pursue basketball. And so I was trying.
You had a dream.
I had a dream. And so I wanted to walk on at Mississippi State. And so I studied kinesiology. Basketball, it's funny. Basketball didn't work out for a crazy reason. You know, I look back, it was God.
We know God.
Yeah. But at the time, it was for a crazy reason. I wasn't able to even try out.
Wow.
And I'm talking about, I'm working out
Preparing.
2 days a week, like 6 a.m., going back after classes, like, I have a good chance. And so I ended up switching my major, ended up finding out about the Entrepreneurship Center at Mississippi State.
Absolutely.
And so that's how I started my business. I started off as an app development, but then shifted to animation.
So when you found out actually about that center,
Yes.
did you initially go back in your mind to, wait a minute, the animation that I did with William Shakespeare,
Not
this
at
could
all.
be you never put 2 and 2 together.
Not at all. At that time, I just knew I wanted to start a business or at least serve people. And so I had an app idea at the time. And so I tried to develop the app, went through a couple of teams. That didn't work out.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I needed to market the app and I tried to search for a professional animation company.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, what people were charging like $15,000 or like $7,500 for one video. I'm a college student. I don't want to get them 200.
Exactly.
So I was like, I can do this myself. And so I created the video. People understood what my app did in a very quick amount of time.
Wow.
And it was at that moment I was like, I can do this for other small businesses. Because small businesses really didn't have access to a professional high quality animation. And so
Absolutely.
it was at that moment to where I had the idea of, okay, let me start doing this. But it was as a freelancer. I really didn't expect it to turn into a business. I just wanted something to pay for my school.
Look at God.
You know, so it wasn't even long-term vision. It was like,
Mhm.
this is something that I can make money off of right now.
So while you were in college, you actually were able to utilize that to help and assist with tuition and other needs that you needed while you were at school.
Definitely, definitely.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so I was able to go full time to my animation company after, a couple months after graduating college. Again, wasn't really planning on doing this like long term, but it was just what was available. I'm a type of person is I go with the flow. I move with what God is telling me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna force anything. Like, if
Yeah.
it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. And so the animation has just been that thing that I just felt like I was called to. You don't run into an animator every day, and I
No.
knew how to fuse it with business, and so I just kind of kept going. And what's funny is with animation, it also helped me kind of go into helping people with social media and digital technology, because I didn't realize people didn't know how to use social media and digital technology.
No, most people are afraid of it, or
Yeah.
we overpost, underpost, we don't engage,
Right.
and so that's what I want you to kind of give some insight, especially for business owners or for entrepreneurs, in regards to what are some tips that you would give someone who is trying to get more followers or just get in the game of social media.
So one tip I would have is we rarely overpost.
Wow.
Like, we have a misconception that we are overposting, but in reality we don't post enough.
See, that's what I've heard people say. Oh, you're overposting. I'm like, how is that possible?
And really, if someone says that, you may not be posting like content that people seek valuable. Because
Gotcha.
if you're posting valuable content that I'm learning from, I don't know, you can post 100 times, because that gives me more stuff, free information to
Absolutely.
receive. And so a lot of times, if you may hear you're over posting, maybe you're not posting the right content, and the right content really is conversational content.
Gotcha.
Social media is just another way to communicate with an audience. Like, the same stuff I would say to you in person is the same content that my business is posting on social media, because your audience just wants to get to know you, understand what you do, and they want to receive valuable resources. And so those two quick things right there are the main things that I see. Like, people don't post enough, and that stops them from posting. And also, they don't know what to post. But a lot of times we overcomplicate social media. It's literally the same stuff that you would say in person. You're just putting it in a different form.
Okay, I'm about to put you to the test.
Okay.
So you know me.
Okay.
You know that on the set, Tammie Nichols TV. So if you were coming on the show today, what should I have posted on social media?
Flyer, just about who the guests are, what we're talking about, and then previous clips from what you have, kind of build excitement, so that way you can get new people that may not have watched the show. They can kind of see what have past guests talked about, so it gives them like a preview.
Awesome.
And then just pictures,
Yeah.
just from set behind the scenes. A lot of
Yes.
people get to know you. Like, those are kind of like just the foundational
It
content.
seems like I need
that
to
was
hire
started.
you. Because my spirit is like, yes. That's awesome. And I know some of you all that are watching right now that are business owners, you're probably saying the same thing. You want, like he said, the conversation. You want to engage with your customers or viewers or those that are on social media. And so these are tips that we really do need to know, because sometimes when you don't know what to do, you just post, or tag or share somebody else's post, and now they forget about your page and go to the person that you posted or you shared their
Right.
post about.
Right.
Okay, so we have more conversation, engaging.
Mm-hmm.
What else would you suggest for us?
So, going into content specific types, here are some pieces of content I really recommend. Like, if you're confused on what content to post on social media, start with this: frequently asked questions. So, if you're a business owner, when you're out networking or telling somebody about your business or trying to get a sale, what are the questions that you get all the time?
Okay.
Because more than likely, your social media audience needs to know that same information.
Absolutely.
And then another one is testimonials or success stories. How have you helped previous customers or clients solve their problem, and how have they used your product or service? Because we don't believe the words of like us. Like, have you ever seen a commercial where a business was like, "We're the 5th best company in the country"? No, everybody says they're the best.
Yeah.
Every movie that comes out is the #1 best.
That's how they project it.
Somehow, some way, 20 movies right now are #1.
Yeah.
And so, but we believe the words of other people, and other people experiences, and so we want to hear from them. And then another one, a lot of people don't really think about, is questions that people should be asking you. So as a business owner, you should be a tour guide for your clients. Because one thing we always worry about is this business taking advantage of us, or is this business really the right thing? But as a business owner, if you're giving somebody the inside game, inside scoop, and being like the tour guide into the industry, you're really looking out for the best interests of the persons on the other side.
Absolutely.
And not a lot of organizations are doing that.
No.
And especially in this day and age, I hate to say it, but customer service and customer experience is at an all-time low. Like, it just seems like nobody really cares. Like, you walk to a restaurant, you don't really feel like they care about you spending their money with you. Like, I'm here spending money with you, but they act so, like, when you definitely want to make sure your customer service and customer experience is at an all-time high. So those three are hot pieces of content that you can literally start creating right now.
Oh, I love it. Just listening to you, I'm excited. I'm just like, okay, I feel this. Tracy, look, I'm getting excited. Like, yes, this is awesome. And it just makes sense. And it's almost like it should appear to be common sense. But if you don't know, you just don't know. You know? Okay, so I want to ask this question.
Okay.
You have Facebook,
Right.
TikTok,
Yep.
the gram.
Yep.
And are there stereotypes to like what age group is more prone to, or what business you should post more to?
So those definitely play a big factor into it, because another thing that I see a lot of organizations or business struggle with is, what platforms should we be on? And so you need to look at the different platforms and the age groups that they cater to, because I like to say it like this: the social media platforms are like a virtual world. So you know how we have Earth that has different continents.
Absolutely.
So think about social media as a virtual world. Facebook is its own continent. Instagram is its own continent. You got LinkedIn, TikTok. They all have cultures. They all speak a certain language.
Absolutely.
And the platforms are set up in a certain way. And so you need to first understand who your audience is. Because if your audience is families, Snapchat is not necessarily the best for your time. Not saying families are not on there, but you're not going to catch an abundance of families.
Right.
Why not go to Facebook, to where Facebook was created so families could keep up with each other?
Yeah.
If you want to reach the older, younger audience, like college students and young adults, Instagram may be the best for you, because the visual, they're on Instagram. And so, like, you want to go to where the culture fits what your target audience is. And so you definitely want to pay attention to that information. And then just backtracking to what you said, this information I'm saying, it does seem like it should be common sense and simple. But one of the tricks that marketing and digital marketing play on us is, we see all these big companies, they're everywhere. We feel like we need to be everywhere.
Absolutely.
But we don't have the resources and time that they have.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do what Coca-Cola does as a one-person business. It is just not possible. So when you do that, you end up being everywhere but not excellent at anything. Like, it's like what they used to say, a jack of all trades but a master of none.
Yeah.
Like, why not start on one platform, master that platform? So the hardest thing but the most effective thing in digital marketing, keep it simple. Start with 1-2 platforms max and become excellent, because you have to learn those things. You have to learn your audience. You have to see what content. Even though it may seem like I know a lot about marketing, I can't just go into any business and tell them on the first meeting, you need to do this, 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 you got $1 million.
Yeah.
I got to learn about your audience, learn what you do. Then we have to go test these things out. And so you want to keep it simple that you can test these things out.
Absolutely. I'm listening to you, and there's so much wisdom. Did this come with trial and error? Is this something that you learned from your business? Because this is just profound information. Oh my goodness.
It is definitely trial and error. The hardest thing about marketing is not the strategy, it's the execution. I had to be persistent in not giving up, but also asking the right questions. And that's really the secret to good marketing, is really, okay, I have this goal. That's one thing. Do we set visual goals? So let's say for my company, we want to get $100,000 in revenue. I need to have that clear visual goal. Now I can start asking the questions to get us there. Okay, how am I going to get to $100,000? So, like, now I'm thinking about, okay, who are going to be my customers? What's going to be the process that I have to turn a stranger into a consistent customer, or what platforms I should be on, and then I can start googling these things and kind of seeing, okay, they say I should have a target audience, and they say I should have a market. Like, so I'm asking these questions because
Yeah.
I have that clear vision.
Is there a promotional somewhere in the mix of all of this, or is that significant?
Promotional as far as like you talking about like ads or
Mhm.
so.
To draw the customers and the clients in.
Oh, definitely. So my business, we've done things straight off of organic.
Oh
And
wow.
so like we don't run ads, we don't do billboards. I spend energy versus time. So like I'm out networking, I'm giving free services so that people can see it.
That works
But
all the time.
right, and but strategically, like so partnering with chambers of commerce is
Mhm.
partnering with these groups where my audience hangs out. And so that's how I get in front of new people. So having a campaign, which is you call it campaign, a sales process, a sales funnel, but like you really got to have a strategic way um, to use all these platforms you have.
Yeah.
Like, how does your Facebook bring you new people? Like,
Yeah.
how does your website, like a lot of people have websites, but do you know where in your process your website is?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people just have websites because somebody told me I had a website.
Yeah.
Well, your website needs a purpose. Do people look at your website before they talk to you? Do they look at your website after? Like for my animation company, only reason people need my website is to see our previous work. So more than likely, they're looking at my website after they talk to me.
Yeah.
And so now, all I need in my website is really my portfolio, and we really use YouTube as our portfolio because we can just put all our videos there, and they're gonna get the information from me. So really being intentional about your marketing. That's one of the
That's
things when it
awesome.
comes to a plan. You don't need a 30-page plan. You just need really how do people find me? How do I continue that conversation? How do I make it easy for them to book a meeting with me so I can get to know their needs? And then how do I send an invoice?
Oh wow.
Those are just like
Four
four
basic
steps.
things, yeah.
Four steps. Like I'm not thinking about 12 steps because if it's a 12-step process, I'm not gonna do all
Most
this.
people will stop around about the fourth or fifth. I know I will. If I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. It's not
Yeah.
worth my time.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
After 3 or 4 steps, I want to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those that do not know, share with them a little bit more about what it is that you do, the services that you provide, in case somebody wants to connect with you, or they may be watching and say, "This young man is really impressing me. I need to connect with him. I need to, like I just said, I need to hire you." Somebody else may be saying the very same thing.
So we have a digital marketing company / program. So it's called DM Tech School, and what we do is we help business owners, leaders understand how they can use digital tools to get to their goal. And so, like, what that looks like is the first thing we do is sit down and literally talk about what are your goals. Like, that's always the first question I ask. And then after that is really being honest about the resources and time that you have.
Yeah.
Like, because that's one thing that we don't do. And then from there, we look at, okay, do you have a sales process? And then how are you currently executing? And so it's kind of like a doctor's visit. It's a checkup. I'm saying, where are you? And then from there, we suggest some things like a doctor would. Hey, okay, so you need to do this. We offer, like, we lay the plan out right there. So whether you choose to hire us, because the checkup is free.
I was about to say, is the first checkup consult free?
Yeah, it's free.
Okay,
the
you
first
guys, y'all
checkup is
heard
free.
that.
And so, like, that's just for you to be able to see, what's going on out there. And then I'll give you the information you need to where if you can do it yourself and you're going to hold yourself accountable, go ahead. Like, I'm not going to hold back any information. The only thing we really charge for is if you want us to sit down and guide you through that process. Like, that's what our starter package is. It's like, okay, we're going to be there to guide you through whatever I just laid out to you. We will be there to guide you through that. And that's really where we start with everybody. And then from there, we see if you need content. We got it's connected to our animation company. If you need somebody to do your social media, help with social media, we have this. So like from that checkup is where we kind of go in and decide. Right, awesome. Right. But that checkup is so important because, and if you're listening right now, do a checkup on yourself. Like, do you have your goal laid out? Do you have a sales process? And are you executing consistently? Those 3 things are what consists of a checkup because those are what marketing is right there. Like the sales process is your plan. Your goal is your finish line, and the execution, that's where the rubber meets the road. Like that's where a lot of businesses,
make it happen.
Yeah. That's the hardest part about marketing right there. Consistent execution. And so that's what we do.
Awesome. I'm telling you guys, this is valuable information. We're going to utilize it for Tammie Nichols TV, and I'm going to utilize it for Tammie Nichols just individual, what we do, and Big Chief Barbecue. We gotta put you to work, you know. That's the blessing of it. You know, we want to be a blessing, but I love how you said, even if you choose not to use our resources, here's the plan. Make it happen. Most people don't do that. That shows that you are secure and know that, hey, if I bless you, God is gonna bless me. That's the best part about it. Okay, so I've been seeing on social media you did like not one but two different ribbon cuttings. God has been expanding and blessing you. Was this expected? Were you excited? Tell us some more about that.
So I remember the post you talking about. So we did actually 3 ribbon cuttings in 2 years.
Yeah.
One in South Haven, Mississippi, and 2 in Starkville. None of those opportunities were expected. I even said on the post, I had really nothing to do with this. This was all God.
Wow.
Just because, like I said, I kind of go with the flow. In South Haven, we brought an animation company. In Starkville, we brought a co-working space. And then we also brought our digital marketing company in Starkville. And so those were just great. We got to introduce those to the community, be an asset to the community. And so like I really had nothing to do with it.
Well,
It
you
was
were the
really
visionary. Like you say, you got out of the way, so who could?
God.
That's the best part about it. Let's talk about the workspace.
Okay.
How people in the community can utilize that, and what's your vision and goal for it?
So the co-working space, it was partnership with Mississippi State. They brought me in to be like the co-working manager, so pretty much set out the vision. What's special about that is it allows businesses and entrepreneurs to have a place to work out of for low cost. Like they have 8 different offices, like private offices that you can lease out, but also like a common space to where you can get a day pass or a monthly pass and work out of there. And then there you can have events like networking events. You can have meetings. There's a conference room. And so for a year I ran that and started that, and then now I stepped down back in October to go full time to my company, and then also director of marketing for Chick-fil-A.
Pause. Was that a faith walk?
It was.
We've been talking about faith all day, and you said I stepped down because sometimes when things are comfortable, it's hard to just pull away from it. You said to run your company full time.
Well, and then to be quite honest, I probably stayed a little bit longer than I should. Like God kind of had to give me more of a nudge.
Oh wow.
Just because if I would have stayed, I would have been too comfortable with whether it was my company or whether it was just me personally in business. Because now that I think about it, I was getting a little too comfortable. But really, it was a blessing, like the whole journey. And I stayed a little bit longer because I had to make sure, because it's still like I still felt like I had a little more time, but the time was up.
Time was up.
Time was up.
God is like, look, I need you to go do X, Y, and Z, but you like, wait a minute, me dot this I and cross this T.
Right. Like,
no, move.
Right. So like like we have like plans, and I was like, I still got these more milestones to hit. It's like, nah, you did everything you needed to do. Like, so yeah, that's what happened there.
Wow. And God sometimes will allow a little turbulence to kind of push you out so that you can move out.
Right.
I know in my personal experience, I would say that because I left MSU as well. October last year. And it was like, okay, I'm not going to let you rest until you do what I tell you to do, Tammie. And I was like, what in the world? But I've walked with him so much that my faith is on a whole nother level. That it's like, okay, if you're telling me, that means that you got something else. And believe me, he did. Some other doors were open instantly. I got calls from the Department of Education. I'm just like, what in the world? How did you find money? So God knows what he's doing at all times. He just be waiting for us to get out of the way.
Yeah, I could never say that it was a time to where it hasn't worked out. Like, it always works out.
Yeah.
Like, in the end, like, even when I left Mississippi State, like, I think a month or two later, we closed our biggest contract. And then right after that, the next contract had topped that one. And so now we're working on contracts, and really throughout this, I see the vision. So like for our animation company, we really want to take over what's called the edutainment industry. And so like one of our contracts is we're creating a series of financial literacy videos that's teaching kids financial literacy, but in a storytelling way. Awesome. And so they're literally watching a story, but learning financial literacy lessons along the way. And like, that's just the peak of what we can do. I just left Nashville at an animation conference to where I'm around different animation experts that worked for DreamWorks, Pixar, and like to be honest, I I never really felt like a real animator. Like I felt like a fraud in the animation world because I'm like I got these little projects and I'm sitting next to Pixar, DreamWorks, and like I'm on a panel with these people.
Yeah.
But then they're amazed by me because they say a lot of animators they want to go work for Pixar and DreamWorks, and in the animation world, it's like wanting to play in the NBA. So not everybody wants to do that, but they're like, well, what you do, you introduce them to literally a whole world of things that they don't even know that's possible, to where they can create their own lane.
Yeah.
Because I was literally telling them, you can do anything with animation. You can do training videos for companies, marketing videos, edutainment. You can work on your own projects. The way streaming is right now, you can create your projects, put it on a streaming platform. Like you don't have to go work for somebody else if you don't want to, but you can also kind of create your own lane and work for other companies.
Absolutely.
And so like that was a blessing right there because I was like I actually have a lane in the animation industry, and people at Pixar and DreamWorks were amazed at me. And so I guess I feel a little better.
You needed that.
Oh yeah, because I was like I'm not a real, like people ask me, I'm not really a real animator. Like
yes, you are, and I think God had to place you in the middle of them so you could realize. Well, I got to do this a little. So you could realize, hey, I'm just as big as they are. Hey, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And he has to remind us that even though we may not see ourselves that way, he'll place people around us to remind us who we are. Right. So I just want to, as the big sister, just to tell you to stay encouraged. Keep doing what you're doing, the phenomenal work. I hear your name, different rooms, and I'm just like, hey, I know you, but I don't speak. I've learned to just listen. And it's great things that people are saying, how you are enlightening them, bringing life to their organization, to their businesses, sharing wisdom and making their companies come alive. And so I had to, of course, be obedient and reach out and say, hey, I need to get my frat brother on television here on Tammie Nichols TV to share with the world what they can do to enhance and grow their business, or, you know, just whatever it is that they want to do, maybe storytelling or a documentary of their life or whatever it is, so that people can know that we're in transition and we're going to have to share for what the culture is doing. Final words of what you want to say, you know, to someone, maybe with AI, because ChatGPT, that they're a little leery of that. But what are some of your thoughts?
Don't let technology scare you. Technology definitely, like any tool, can be used like negatively. Don't let AI scare you, and it can actually be a benefit. Don't let it be a crutch. So I would say if you want to try out AI, a good software that's easy to use is ChatGPT, and you can use it as like a brainstorming thing. So you can type in a question, hey, I want to create a marketing plan. How would you create it? And ChatGPT will respond.